Welcome to episode 74 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC anime universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And two pretty damn solid episodes this week. I mean, it's hard to come up to the level of Over the Edge, which is one of the all-time greats. But I thought both of these were really
The Roxy
fun.
episode blew me away.
Yeah.
It definitely is like top 10 Batman episodes.
Okay, so had you seen either one of these before?
No.
Okay, yeah. So
there's another Legion of Superheroes episode.
Well, there's one in JLU.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, because it's
yes. Okay.
GL and Supergirl, and I think some other people get teleported into the future.
But there's another one, and I don't. Someone will correct me on this. Maybe you. Hopefully you.
Probably.
There's an episode where Superman meets the Legion, and as they fly off, he like has his brain wiped like he does in this episode, and he opens his hand and it's the ring. It's the Legion ring. I have no idea what it's from.
I think you're thinking of Smallville?
No, because I feel like it's animated.
So
It might be Smallville.
okay, because
I might just like have it drawn in my head.
because the first episode that we're talking about today is the New Kids in Town, which is the introduction of Legion of Superheroes. But this story is basically a direct adaptation of the first comic that introduced the Legion of Superheroes, his old Superboy comic.
Okay.
And so this story of like the three of them coming back from the past to like train with or recruit Superboy has been done here. It was done in Smallville, almost like the exact same structure, more or less. And then there was actually even another cartoon series on after
Superman and the Legion of Heroes.
Yeah.
Yes.
that came on after this. So,
Yes, because that was on
but I mean,
channel 177. What was that channel?
I mean, it was like the Kids WB.
Yeah. Okay. It was Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you could be thinking of that. Wonder, was it a Brave and the Bold or a?
No,
So I
it
haven't
might
seen
have
that.
been. I might have just like been flipping through channels, and I might have like caught the end of a Superman and the Legion of Heroes episode,
Okay.
and for some reason that just stuck with me.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause I watched a bit of that when it was on, because it was on around the same time as The Batman. Like that was part of the wave of DC shows after the
2006.
DCAU. Yeah. I remember it being. I was a little bit too old for it being a little bit too kiddish, and so I kind of enjoyed it, but I didn't really love it, and I stepped away from it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's any good or not. I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
There were a lot of weird shows around that time because you had those two, and then you had the two failed Marvel anime. You had the Wolverine and Iron Man anime.
Oh, yeah, I
and
never
then
watched those.
To compensate for that, they had the American ones, which was Wolverine and the X-Men, and then
Was that any good? Did you ever watch that?
I watched a few episodes and it was fine.
Yeah, I feel like
It was kind of like my lull in animation.
Yeah.
Where I didn't like really anything that was coming out.
Well, that's kind of another one too, where for both of us, X-Men Evolution holds up as like probably my favorite iteration of
me too,
of the
absolutely.
X-Men, and so anything coming out after that was never going to be up to snuff. I mean, the same way that even like the Batman, as much as I enjoy the first few seasons, nowhere near as good as the DCAU.
Right.
What can you do?
What can you do?
I know.
You can start
complain.
a podcast and complain about it. That's what you can do.
I mean, that's the only reason we do this, is just so we
Right.
can have our
And we
soapboxes.
had to set ourselves up, so we didn't bring this up until 74 episodes in. But this has really been the whole purpose of this podcast.
Yeah, I just really want to talk about how much I hated Legion of Superheroes.
Yes. And we're finally there.
Oh, God. We can stop now.
We can.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
man.
good.
Get no more of these late night records. Fuck. All right, but the convenient thing is because we're recording this so late, we're recording the Monday night before release. I'm looking forward to the edit in a couple hours. We actually can talk about
up to date on
prescient
news.
So we'll start with slightly delayed news topic, but a huge one that is we have to talk about. That Avengers got pushed up a week.
Yes.
That is huge. I mean, so from your perspective, why do you think they would have done something like that?
I think I mentioned this to you off air, but my hopeful...
We don't talk off air.
We don't.
No.
I have a text conversation going on with myself, but in my phone I have myself under Chris Lord, just so it seems like
Yeah.
I have someone to talk
Well, yeah,
to.
because when I call you, it just comes up with that fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes up as anonymous caller. My hopeful idea for the reason they pushed it up is the executives finally got the final cut of Solo, And Disney's been very vocal about how they are not excited for this movie. Which is
Yeah.
a very mean thing for a studio to do for a movie that's still in production.
Yeah.
Because like even Warner Brothers doesn't do that with DC films
When they should.
know they're going to be
when they know they're going to be terrible.
when the executives are already counting their money.
Yeah. Out the door.
Yeah. But what I hope is the Solo movie is better than they expected, so much so that they think it'll actually make money and not have to live in Infinity War shadow. So it's easier for them to move the movie up than to move Solo back, because usually pushbacks are already or immediately given negative connotations.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping that's an aspect of this. I mean, because look, the trailer for Solo isn't great necessarily, but my expectations are kind of low. I just want it to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
Which it looks like it could be.
Right.
And you know, I do hope that's part of the reason they're doing this. I mean, I think part of the other reason too is that now it's getting what's referred to as like day and date or day and day release. So it's getting released across the world the same day.
Okay.
Because they're probably a little bit worried too about spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Coming out. So it's interesting. You wonder how long this was in the pipeline, because I mean, obviously they pick release dates years in advance, but they had to have thought a little like kind of a little bit ways down the line of like, we don't want to create a situation where the movie comes out a week before the largest market, because the largest market is still the US.
Yeah.
And the potential for so many things to get out, because this is a movie that you have to see in theaters, because
immediately.
I mean, I think for me, since episode 7, this is like the next movie I'm like, I have to see it in theaters immediately because I don't want anything ruined for me, more so even than The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Well, I think so. One of the things I was going to bring up was Black Panther is now the second highest grossing Marvel film of all time.
I think behind the Avengers, right? Yeah.
And just barely. Not just barely. In domestic, just barely.
Yeah, that's right.
But it is the 10th highest grossing domestic film of all time.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's amazing, yeah.
But yeah, wrapping that into Infinity War, I think Infinity War might topple the Star Wars Empire.
Oh.
I think it might be. I know Ultron didn't do great, and Civil War also didn't do great.
Yeah.
But this is like you said, this is the one that everyone has to see in theaters. It's the finale.
Yeah.
And when you talk about release dates, like we've had phase 2 and 3 planned. I remember being at Comic-Con when they announced phase 3 back in like 2012.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
This this date has been marked down for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Ugh.
It's gonna be an event.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm so excited. When did tickets go on sale? Fuck.
I don't know. I've been checking.
Okay,
Not
yeah,
yet.
we got to get. What do you think? El Capitan or Chinese theater?
I don't know. I'll see which one has better perks.
Okay. I know you'll take care of this. I don't have to worry about this. It'll be perfect.
I'll get these.
Which of course means our crossover will be coming out a week early.
Yes.
Yeah, Trevor sent out a message. He like lit the, I'll say, bat signal.
Light the beacons.
Yeah.
The not the Gondor beacons. I don't remember. I'm not going to try and get a Lord of the Rings reference in.
Yeah, no, don't try. We're not Facilious. So I mean, I'm super excited for this. I think it just shows their confidence in the movie. I think part of it probably too is that because Black Panther has been so successful, they're like, well, let's kind of ride the wave of that going on. I mean, it was number 1 its third weekend.
Yeah, by a long shot too. Like number 2 and 3 were Black Sparrow or Red Sparrow and Death Wish.
Oh, that's right.
And together they didn't make $25 million.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, because this movie's like unstoppable. I mean, I've seen it twice. I think you've seen it.
I've seen it 3 times.
Okay, yeah. I might go back again and see it a third time. Right now, I'm listening to the Empire Magazine, their spoiler special podcast. So right now, I'm in the middle of an interview with Ryan Coogler. It's like the more he talks about it, the more like, fuck, I got to go see this movie again.
Yeah. I've just been like binging anything Chadwick Boseman, thank you.
So cool.
Like any video that he's been in the past, 72 hours.
Yeah.
Or the past week, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like they're all so entertaining.
Oh, I know.
Do you watch Feast of Fiction?
What is that?
It's that is the completely wrong YouTube channel. First We Feast.
What is that?
First We Feast is a great celebrity interview setup where it's a host has a guest on and they eat increasingly spicy wings.
Oh, okay. I know of that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Michael B. Jordan one.
Yeah. That's what I was getting
It's
to.
been up on my computer
It's
for like a week, and
so
I haven't
good.
sat down to watch it yet. Because anytime I see a video, it's like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta like
Mm-hmm.
set aside time for this.
Yeah. And what's made me very excited is learning that Michael B. Jordan is a huge anime nerd.
Yeah, apparently he
And
is.
that's so great to hear.
That's so awesome, man. He's just so fucking cool.
I know.
But no, I mean, I'm crazy excited for Infinity War. Even more so now that we're getting it a week earlier.
Yeah.
And and I mean that. So we get what? We get Ready Player One end of March.
Yes.
Oh, and I just read too that I guess they bumped Rampage up a week.
Thank God.
To give it some distance from Infinity War. They wanted like 2 weeks before Infinity War came out.
I would love if that was the reason they pushed it up, was just to like smash Rampage into the ground.
God,
It's like,
yeah.
no more video game movies.
It looks so dumb, but yeah. So a string of really good stuff coming out and just starting a few weeks. Pretty excited about that. Okay,
Did I tell you my hopes for Rampage, and then we'll get back on topic.
What is on topic for us, honestly? But what's your hope for Rampage?
The only thing that'll make me excited for that movie is they tease in the trailer that the reason the animals get so big is like a meteorite falls.
Yeah.
And it's the radiation, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
What I want the finale to be, or the climax of the movie to be, is The Rock goes to the meteorite and absorbs the radiation. And the three monsters are like beating on the buildings, and there's like a camera pan, and it's a 50-foot rock.
Oh my God.
And he like bare knuckle brawls the alligator, the wolf, and the gorilla.
Don't put it past the filmmakers.
I want that so badly.
Are you gonna go see it, just that possibility, or are you gonna wait to hear that it happens and then go see it?
I mean, I have my movie pass,
This is
so
true.
it just depends on what's going on that week.
How busy you are.
Right.
Yeah.
How much do I want to hate myself at the end of the week?
No, I have enough. I don't need any help hating myself. I can just do that on my own without seeing that movie. Did you see the Mary Poppins Returns teaser?
Oh, of course I did.
It looked really good.
It looks so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I mean, their recreation of what's that? What's the street called?
It's a good question for someone who knows Disney.
I mean, I love that movie. I watch like once a year. I can't believe I'm blanking.
I haven't watched it in a couple of years. Bleacher Street,
Something Terrace.
Evergreen Terrace.
I don't know. Okay, but I mean,
No,
their
that's Simpsons.
recreation of that whole street, it looks gorgeous. And I love Emily Blunt.
Me too.
I'm super.
It's
excited
got a
for it.
little like Miss Maisel vibe.
Okay,
at
yeah,
the
I can see
end.
a little bit.
I loved that.
Yeah, I mean, plus Ben Whishaw. He's the new
dad?
version of Michael.
Okay,
He's Q.
got it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. He's also Paddington.
Oh, that's right.
So goddamn charming. No, super excited for that. Did you see there was a little bit of news about the Green Lantern Corps?
No.
So not huge news. All we got was that I guess they're interested in possibly having Christopher McQuarrie direct it.
Okay.
So he's the writer of The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Great film.
Yes.
And then he has directed the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. So 5 and then 6 coming out soon.
Okay.
He also directed the first Jack Reacher. Did you ever see it?
I think so. Okay, so there was one with Tom Cruise and there was one with Chris Pine.
Okay, so
which one was? Which one was which?
Jack Reacher was Tom Cruise. And that's
Okay.
based off of the Jack Reacher book series by Lee Child.
Got it.
Chris Pine was in the new version of Jack Ryan.
That's
who's the Tom Clancy character, who was also played by Alec Baldwin in Hunt for Red October and by Harrison Ford in Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Also played by Ben Affleck in Some of All Fears. Soon to be played by John Krasinski. Or John Krasinski. No, I have a friend named Johnny
Yes.
Krasinski, and I get the two of them confused all the time. John Krasinski in the Amazon Jack Ryan show.
got it.
So that's a long answer to that question.
So no, I've seen the Jack Ryan one.
Okay, Jack Reacher, actually pretty damn solid.
Okay.
Some really good moments. And I think he's a really talented director. I'd be interested to see him take on something like Green Lantern. But we got a brief plot synopsis which just confirms that it's going to be an older Hal Jordan teaching a younger Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Which I'm down for.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
I was hoping for a Kyle Rayner, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Jon Stewart.
Give it a couple more movies. You might get a Kyle Rayner. Might get Guy Gardner.
Oh, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want that spicy redhead.
Yeah.
That everyone hates.
You might get an Alan Scott.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pre-crisis, post-crisis.
Ooh, good question. I mean, I guess.
Do you want him gay or not gay?
Well, obviously, I want him gay.
Yeah. How ironic!
Everything needs to be more gay.
How ironic is it that the first gay Green Lantern's weakness is wood?
That was oh my god, the dumbest fucking thing.
I mean, the Green Lantern weaknesses have always been dumb because one of the best Batman comics is when him and Robin paint the whole Batcave yellow.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Green Lantern can't do anything.
Can't do anything. Yeah, that was All-Star Batman and Robin from the increasingly deranged Frank Miller. But yeah, no, like more gay superheroes, but don't make their weakness wood. Fuck, I don't want to get into it.
I had two quick things to breeze through. Did you see what wonderful movie swept the Razzies last night? Screw the Oscars.
It must have been the Emoji Movie.
It was. It won 4 Razzies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's a very exciting moment. There was a great video of The Rock accepting his Razzie for Baywatch.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And he was very sweet about it, and it was very funny.
It's kind of like when Sandra Bullock did that for All About Steve.
Oh, did she? Good.
She said not only did she come there and actually accept the award.
Oh, that's amazing.
So if I recall, this is the same year that she won the Oscar for The Blind Side. I think it's The Blind Side, right? So, but she shows up to the Razzies, and not only did she accept the award, but she gave everyone in the audience a free copy of All About Steve.
That's amazing.
That's so good.
The last piece of news that we're probably going to talk about for longer than we should.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Wreck-It Ralph last week.
No, we didn't. Yeah, the new trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
It does.
Mm-hmm. I wish they would have given us a little more because there's. Can I talk? I can talk about it. It's fine. There's a new character that's supposed to be introduced.
Okay.
Whose name I don't remember.
Is the character gay?
Unable to tell.
I don't care. You've lost me.
I'm not gonna look her up. It's not important.
Okay.
But I kind of wish they showed her, and she's like the internet tour guide for Ralph and Penelope.
Okay.
She looks awesome. She's not in the trailer. I saw an extended clip from D23 last year.
Oh, okay.
Where they talked about her. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited.
No, I am too. I really liked the first one. I didn't see it in theaters, but I really enjoyed it. It's just fun. It's got a lot of heart. I think this one, it looks very clever.
Yeah.
With him being on the internet.
The clip that I saw at D23 was very meta, where Ralph and Vanellope go to the website ohmydisney.com.
Mm-hmm.
And so they meet all of the Disney celebrities. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
And Vanellope sneaks into the dressing room of all of the princesses.
I've heard about this clip.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see it again.
I was hoping there'd be a tease of that in the
Me
trailer.
too.
And there wasn't any of it. So I guess it'll just be a fun surprise, like see the scene plays out.
Yeah.
When the movie comes out. But yeah, I've heard about that.
I'm so excited for that moment. Because all I want to do is just watch that scene again.
Right.
It's so good.
Wait, that's end of the year, right?
That's November. Yeah.
November, okay.
I did minimal research, and I found out all Disney movies come out either the 3rd week of June, which we get Incredibles, or the 2nd week of November.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I was looking up
wait, Disney animated movies?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because they had so many other ones this year.
Yeah. I was looking up, trying to find anniversaries. And I noticed every movie came out around it was always June 23rd or June.
So have we had a year where 3 came out? Because we had a couple years. We had 1 year with 2 Pixars and 1 year with 2 Disney animation, but those were different years, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's been a time we've had 3.
Well, because did Moana come out the same year as?
Moana was November, and Zootopia was June.
But what year did Finding Dory and
2017,
The Good Dinosaur?
2015.
What? Whatever. For some reason, I thought there was maybe 3 1 year.
No, Good Dinosaur was November because I worked on that campaign.
Yeah,
it was November 2015.
And then 2016 was
no Pixar.
No Pixar, but Zootopia and Moana.
Yes,
Moana was last year.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago because they did the Oscars with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then 2017 was Cars 3 and
Finding Dory.
Finding Dory.
Cool.
Yes.
Got it. Boom. We've solved that mystery.
Then no, because then that one was wrong. because they were both summer movies.
The fuck, I don't know.
I don't know.
You
I give
should
up.
know.
I should. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
apologize.
should we-
Let's start the episode.
Should we talk Oscars though? Because it did just happen.
Oh, yeah. We
haven't talked
can
about
speed
that
through
all.
Oscars.
Yeah. So I mean, the big one is
We don't have a time restraint. This is our own fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to rush this?
People like this part the best anyways.
That's true.
This is the part they don't skip. So you should really embellish it.
Mom.
Oh, she's not the only one.
Chris's mom.
Yeah. Oh, my mom doesn't listen. I know this for a fact. She doesn't know how to download podcasts.
It's all right.
But I mean, I guess the big one. How do you feel about The Shape of Water winning Best Picture?
I am excited for it. I think it's an interesting choice.
Very interesting choice.
Because were you? What was your prediction?
I would have put my money on Three Billboards
Billboards.
because it had been doing. It had a lot of Oscar momentum. Or it had a lot of momentum in the award season going in. I feel like for me, the dark horse could have possibly been Lady Bird.
That was my hope.
Yeah,
Was Lady Bird.
I knew Call Me by Your Name wasn't going to win because the gays won last year.
Right.
So.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I really like The Shape of Water. I think Get Out, Three Billboards, Call Me by Your Name. I probably even like The Post better, actually. It's a weird choice.
There's a great YouTube series because that's all I do in my spare time.
This is absolutely true.
It's the Honest Trailers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't watch them.
A few of
They
them.
make me too mad.
They do one for the Oscars every year, where it's
Okay.
just all of the Oscar nominated movies.
Yeah.
And like the snippet they did for The Post was just calling it Oscar nominated movie The Post.
Yeah.
It's like the name of the movie because that's all it was.
No, it was. I mean, it had that feel to it. I quite liked it, but I mean, The Shape of Water is just an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's because it's so rare for something that's kind of sci-fi, kind of fantasy like that to win.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I liked it. I mean, yeah, I would have said I would have rather had Lady Bird.
Yeah.
But did you hear about the weird the weird thing with Emma Stone? Backlash, that's what I'm looking for.
No, so I didn't watch any of the ceremony this year. Sadly.
Okay. I just briefly read about it this morning. She kind of made the same comment that Natalie Portman, right? Natalie Portman made it at the Golden Globes.
Oh, yeah.
Here are the men nominated for Best Director.
Yeah.
She said the same comment of here are the men and Greta Gerwig. That her name?
Yeah, Greta Gerwig, yeah.
Okay, cool. I got it right.
Yeah.
Nice. For the exact same category, she said the same thing.
Yeah.
And people were a little more harsh with her, and I think it's because when it was not Keira Knightley,
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman doing it. It was for white guys.
Yeah.
But when Emma Stone did it, it was Greta Gerwig. You had
Jordan Peele, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, and then the other three.
Paul Thomas Anderson and Nolan.
And Spielberg.
No.
Oh,
There's only 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
He's got enough.
that's true.
No, yeah.
Meryl Streep's still nominated.
He just like pooped out The Post while doing post production on
Right.
Ready Player One. But even then, like the movies he just poops out are better than most people's movies.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing.
no, he's incredible. But I can see that maybe not working quite as well.
Yeah.
This time around, because I did not see Lady Bird, but I heard really good things
really?
about it.
It's good.
I know. It was one of those that I kept meaning to go see, and by the time that I was like, okay, I can finally have time to go watch it, it had just left the theater.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it'll come back again.
Yeah.
And maybe not. No, I'm sure.
I'm sure it'll come out
it's
on digital
iTunes
soon.
now at this point. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, real quick highlights though. Get Out, best screenplay.
Yes, that was amazing.
Right on. My only disappointment in that is that it meant that it didn't go to The Big Sick.
Me too. I know.
And only because I'm not going to say, I think maybe I did prefer The Big Sick a little bit more just because I gravitate towards dramedies, but just because it was Kumail and Emily.
Yeah,
I wanted them to
It was
win.
really like I watched the clip of that, and like they kept jumping between Jordan and Kumail, and I'm like, I just want them both to have it.
I know. And just let them go, like, do a bit together or something like
Yeah.
that. Just, I don't know, something like that. Personal, most excited though, Roger Deakins finally won Best Cinematography for Blade Runner, which is a gorgeous fucking movie.
Like he went above and beyond. Like went into that movie being like, I'm winning the fucking award
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Well, it helps too that Chivo Lubeski didn't have a movie, because like every year where I feel like Deakins should have won, because Chivo won 3 years in a row,
Okay.
and just because he did, it was Gravity.
Revenant.
Yeah, it was Gravity, Birdman, and then The Revenant.
Okay.
And I'm just sad because Deakins lost out when he made Skyfall, and Skyfall is so gorgeous, just so the jellyfish fight. I'm not gonna get into it. It's just so good.
Don't get it. Hold it in.
Okay, I think that's pretty much the ones I really want to talk about. Everything else all kind of like makes sense. Oh, Coco won Best Song.
Oh yeah, best song and best animated, obviously.
Yeah, right on, as it should. Coco, beautiful movie. Yeah, that basically does it.
My office did the promotion for Boss Baby, and so when I signed on this morning, everyone was like fake like throwing chairs. It's like,
God.
how dare they snub the best animated film of all time?
The
Boss
Oscar-nominated
Baby.
film, Boss Baby.
Baby.
And on that depressing note, let us finally get to our topic on hand.
Yeah, so if you guys want to start fast forwarding now,
yeah, exactly. Skip now. Go
we'll
straight
be
to
back
back
in about 40 minutes.
Yeah. All right, so we start out with New Kids in Town, introduction of the Legion of Superheroes. I pretty much love everything about this episode.
Oh yeah, this was Smallville before Smallville.
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
Yeah, it is the pre-Smallville. So, okay, the general plot line, we already talked about it. The 3 members of the Legion of Superheroes go back in time to stop Brainiac from
Chameleon Boy,
Cosmic Boy, and Saturn Girl. Yeah,
great names.
They're trying
Great
to stop
names, guys.
Brainiac from killing Clark in the past, a la Terminator, which I thought was a lot of fun because they even had the reference to Terminator with him. We see like Brainiac vision.
Oh yeah,
Which is reminiscent of Terminator Vision, where like it highlights people and it has that old kind of like analog style. And even like the scene where he goes into the diner feels reminiscent of like the Terminator walking in, and he doesn't say, "Give me your gun, your boots, and your motorcycle." He's also not naked, but it's basically the same scene.
but then we have a Star Wars reference in there.
We do.
Which is so bizarre.
It is really bizarre, actually. But okay, so right from the beginning, how do you feel about their version of time travel?
It's fine.
Yeah, it gets the job done, right?
Yeah, I wish there would have been more consequences, like immediate consequences.
Okay.
Of like, oh, Brainiac has already messed something up. We need to go back and fix it.
Okay. Like get those stakes high right away.
Yeah, I mean, just like normal time travel stuff. Because time travel is always really weird.
Yeah.
And there's like the multiple ideas of time travel of like you're going back in time because you're destined to do that already, / creating an alternate reality, a la Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, it's basically like, is time a circle or is time branching? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you see it as the 4th dimension or 5th dimension?
Well, the 4th dimension. Why would it be the 5th dimension?
Because 5th is branching.
How's 5th branching? Oh, because it becomes an alternate universe?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, the 4th, it doesn't have to be circular for it to be a 4th dimension, though, does it?
It has, it's more like linear.
Yeah,
I guess.
linear, yeah. I mean, I guess for me, I read The Time Machine when I was young. And so, like, for me, that I always was impressed by how well H.G. Wells described the concept of the 4th dimension.
Okay.
So it's always just stuck with me. So he's a good writer, that guy.
He knows what he's doing sometimes.
Yeah, it got the job done, right? It was basically like, here's the loose premise we're going to use to set up just the whole concept. And I like what they're able to do with it. I feel like they're pretty efficient in this episode, actually, too. Like, a lot happens.
Yeah, and they do bring up the one thing that a lot of time travel movies kind of write off. It's there's no going back.
Oh yeah, there's like, well, like there's no way for me to bring you back. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah,
let's figure it out. Yeah, there'll be a button later on. They'll just send us right back.
Because I think Futurama does it best, where Bender's big. No, not that.
Bender's Big Score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where he has to just live through time every time.
He buries himself where the Planet Express will be built in the future, and then he just comes up from
comes out of the cellar every time he does. 11001100. Yeah,
that was so good.
So good. But I like it because when the Legion arrives, they come across like an angry gun-toting farmer, and I thought that was a really efficient way to just even establish all their powers. Like Saturn Girl's got telepathy, Cosmic Boy has magnetic fields, and Chameleon Boy can just shapeshift.
Yeah,
they kind of hit all the beats real fast. They set up that Saturn Girl's ability to like wipe memories.
I was also surprised it was Smallville because I didn't realize they were going to the past Clark.
Oh yeah.
I assumed it was
you
present
assumed
Clark.
it was going.
Yeah.
To, okay, yeah.
And so when it was like high school, I'm like, it's Smallville.
It's what I liked about this was we got to see Clark be flawed.
Yes.
Because we talked about this a little bit, that one of the big problems with Superman is he is kind of flawless sometimes. In his own episodes, he rarely makes mistakes. He just like does dumb things like getting electrocuted and stuff.
Right.
Whereas here we get to see him be arrogant and mess things up.
And not really be in control of his powers. Because even Smallville, they made him very passive.
Yeah.
And like he wouldn't do anything. I think there was one episode where he tried to join the football team.
Oh,
and he got angry and he dislocated a kid's shoulder.
Yeah. So then he just sits around in a corner waiting for someone to yell, "Save me."
Yeah.
Somebody save.
And then Jason Marsden shows up. But yeah, it was really cool. So they're at a high school dance, as all high schools have.
Yeah.
And the target jock, voiced by Robin.
Yeah, it is Robin. Teen Titans Robin.
Mm-hmm. Comes in. He's like, "We got beef. Let's play basketball." Because 90s.
Yeah, the 80s actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So yeah, Clark kind of like is doing it to show off and also just kind of beat this kid down.
Yeah, just be a bit of a dick.
Yeah. And it was very bizarre to see, and it was kind of nice to see.
Well,
like,
it was
Clark,
nice.
Like, reel it back a little bit.
It was nice to see him have an ego.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem is by the time he's Superman, he doesn't have that quite as much.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of always perfect all the time. So it's fun to see him here.
It's also, I just realized, Spider-Man stole this scene. Amazing Spider-Man stole that scene. Because there's the scene in Amazing Spider-Man where he plays basketball against
Flash Thompson.
Flash.
Yeah.
And it's almost the exact same thing, where he like quickly grabs it.
Oh, yeah. And
messes
like
with
he
him.
holds on with like the little finger claw things. What do you call those? Those little little sticky hand.
Sure.
Hand claws. Mm-hmm. Hand talons.
Sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers.
Sticky McGee.
Sticky bandits.
Yes. Sticky beard.
Yeah, I forgot. I guess they do. Oh, sticky beard. Yeah, I guess they do. They do basically just do that. I forgot they did that exact same thing.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I just remember that.
But it does work well to get to see a different side of him. And I think kind of one of the fun things too is then later on we get the payoff of him like getting to actually unload a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is almost like a mini precursor to like that great climactic scene for the final episode of JLU where the paper town you're always talking about. It's a little bit of that where like here he doesn't know how to control his powers, what he can and cannot do, and he finally comes against someone who he can just wail the shit out of.
Yeah. And even like his parents are surprised.
Yeah.
Also, parental love is having 2 shotguns.
Oh, that is probably my
That was such a precious moment.
my single favorite moment because there's this what I do love about it is that we do get to kind of like jump between genres a little bit, right? So it's like starts out kind of like sci-fi in the beginning, and then we get a little bit of Terminator when we get like the high school drama stuff, Terminator, and then when he finally tracks down Clark to his house, it's almost touches on like horror movie territory a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the power's cut and Clark's sneaking around trying to take out like Brainiac's robots. But you're right, there's that great moment where Clark goes up to go fight Brainiac, and Jonathan's like, "I can't stay here by myself. I'm going to go." It's like, wait, Jonathan, you can't. You need something better than a shovel. Mm-hmm. So, of course, goes outside, and he just unloads a shotgun straight into Brainiac's face. Brainiac turns to attack. Another shotgun blast from Martha, just continuing to be the MVP of the episode.
Yep.
Such a badass. Oh, my God. Yeah. It was fun to get to spend some time with like younger mom, pa, Kent,
and also
too.
with Lana, because Lana's always been
Lana.
I love Lois, but Lana has always had my heart.
Well, in this show we've talked about before, Lois doesn't get to have a lot of personality, but they do let Lana have a lot more fun.
Yeah,
because she
knows.
Yeah, she knows. Because Lois also kind of tweaks at Clark, but because she's not in the loop and doesn't have as close a relationship, it's not quite as effective.
I was also curious if they were going to wipe his memory at the end, because I wasn't sure if this was how Lana found out. Because we already had established that she knows Clark is Superman.
I think when they touch on that in her episode, she just says like, well, obviously it was you.
Yeah.
Like you move out to, but did she know about the powers though?
I mean, she knew he was Superman.
Yeah, but
so I assume she knew about the powers.
I guess she must have known about the powers. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they had to wipe his memory at the end there. Mm-hmm. So okay.
They let him keep the glasses. That was a nice little
I was
nod.
going to say, so here's a question for you. Like, because it's been such a long time, I don't remember Last Son of Krypton that well. So do you think that this was always how he got his glasses, or does that just like the slight little tweak to history was like he got them earlier because of this?
I'm go with B.
Yeah, the Back to the Future version, the branching theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just gave it to him a little earlier.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did love. So you wouldn't know these, but there's some really great way to start.
Rub it in, Chris.
What do you think I'm about ready to talk about?
I don't know, some stupid comic.
No, I was about to talk about Superman the movie. I was like, there's some good references. I caught myself immediately like, well, Cameron's not going to know these, but it's fine. I can explain them to you as well. But I did love it because one of the cool things is that this episode wears its influences like right on its sleeve. So, in the Richard Donner Superman movie, we do spend time in Smallville when he's, younger. And in that version, Jonathan has a heart attack and dies. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of part of what motivates Clark to end up becoming Superman. So, but when Clark bursts into the room and Jonathan's like, oh God, he gave me a heart attack. It's a reference to that. Oh. And then the one you may have caught, though, is later when Brainiac finally has Clark and looks like he's going to kill him. He's like, finally, the son of Jor-El will kneel before me. Mm-hmm. Reference to Zod in Superman 2.
Yes.
Who just always go around telling people to kneel before him.
Kneel before Zod.
Yeah, kneel for Zod.
Because I feel like that's like one of those... that was one thing I wanted to bring up. The kneel before Zod is one of those like nerd quotes that everyone knows.
Everyone knows it, yeah.
I think they even said it in Fanboys, which is...
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
Which is an actual fanboy movie.
Yeah, because it's when they're playing Mario Kart.
Oh, that's right.
He throws the green shell. He's like, kneel before Zod.
Now, have you heard the term throwing the S?
I know what that means. I've never heard someone say it like that, but I know the reference.
I mean, it's the same thing as nuking the fridge, jumping the shark. Mm-hmm. But it's in the Richard Lester, so the theatrical cut of Superman 2, like Superman just randomly like pulls off his S and throws it into this massive cellophane wrap.
Yeah,
that goes around non, and then it just like disappears and shakes
seen
off.
That scene.
And you're just like, what was the goddamn point of that? Which is funny because I do remember the toy series for this show. One of the Superman figures had a Superman S net launching cannon.
Amazing.
I might have even had that figure.
Amazing.
I think I did because it sounds kind of familiar. Oh, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Couple good references too. Yeah, like as you mentioned earlier,
Star Wars reference.
Yeah, he calls him Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. As if he made a wrong turn at Tatooine.
I'm definitely gonna start using that with people now.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a Star Wars reference? Kind of. No, it's a Superman reference.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Krypton. Well, yeah, but
it's like the turducken of nerd references. It's a Smallville reference baked inside of a Superman reference baked inside of a Star Wars reference.
Yes.
Or some other iteration that I didn't quite get right.
No, we're fine.
Another little detail I love, because it is set in the 80s when Clark and Lana need a little private moment. Martha's like, oh, come on, Jonathan. I think the Dukes of Hazzard are on.
Yeah.
Now, so this is a sort of retroactive reference. It's a coincidental reference. But you got the references there.
I know of Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, so...
Lana wasn't wearing Daisy Dukes.
No, in the show Smallville,
yes.
Jonathan was played by Jonathan Snyder, who was one of the
Okay.
Dukes of Hazzard way back in the day. So again,
the one that Johnny Knoxville played, or the one that the other one played?
He was the Sean William Scott.
Got it.
Yeah, he was Bo.
Got it.
Bo and Luke. Mm-hmm. But I mean, obviously, when they made that reference, they just picked a show from the 80s because this was pre-Smallville. Mm-hmm. What was Smallville? 2001?
I want to say 99.
Okay, but still prior to this.
Yeah.
Or this was prior to that. So
yeah.
What did you think of the members of the Legion of Superheroes?
Poorly named.
Yeah, they're kind of silly, but I mean, they were all named in like the 50s.
Yeah, they were cool. I wish we got to see more. I mean, we will see more later.
Yeah.
In JLU.
Did you happen to catch who the voices were?
I wish I had.
So, two of them are going to be less exciting for you. Jason Priestley.
2001, you were right. 2001, 2011.
Okay, yeah. So Jason Priestley was the voice of Chameleon Boy, and then Chad Lowe, I believe brother of Rob Lowe, was Cosmo Boy. But Saturn Girl, Melissa Joan Hart.
Really?
Yeah.
Sabrina herself.
I didn't catch. I did not catch.
No, I couldn't. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not used to hearing her voice, though. because it's been a while.
Yeah, like after I realized who it was, thinking back, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It did sound like her, but I didn't peg it at the time.
Okay.
But I love her.
Me too.
I know, she's Clarissa.
She does explain it all.
She does, yeah. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I watched when they brought back Teen Nick on cable.
I was gonna say
Clarissa Explains It All is one of the starting shows.
Just old enough to see that. I feel like you would have.
It was gone by the time I was into Nick.
Yeah,
because when I started my Nick, the reign of Nick, that was when it was Keenan and Kel, all that Amanda show.
Okay. Oh man, great shows.
Amazing shows.
Love orange soda.
Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. I do. I do have my Good Burger hat.
You have a Good Burger hat?
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
You haven't seen it?
No.
I'll pull it out after the show.
Okay, yeah. Need to do it now. But yeah, so I did think it was interesting that the whole episode was based off of that original appearance. So that was Adventure Comics number 247 in April of 1958. And it's like the exact same plot, except it's Lightning Lad rather than Chameleon Boy.
Okay.
But in that one, they came back in time to test Superboy to see if he was as good as everyone thought he was. And then as soon as he was, oh, we like you, you're cool, here's a Legion ring and you're awesome and you can stay. But they were so popular in that comic that then they started getting their own series. And I read through the Wikipedia entry and some of the other story arcs. None of them were that interesting. I think this is kind of their most famous one.
Okay.
Them popping back in time.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing them. It's always, I think we've noticed the trend of the past few weeks is the best Superman stories are the ones not about Superman.
Yeah, no, this is absolute. It's
sad, but it's true.
It is kind of true. We were talking about, that's why this season is pretty solid, because it does spend a lot of time with other heroes.
People,
we get multiple Batman crossovers. We get Aquaman. We get Green Lantern. I know, coming up pretty soon, actually.
Sinestro.
Yeah, but no, I was talking with Paul Hill, the artist.
Okay,
that we he does awesome work on Instagram. But we were talking about that this version of Superman is kind of only good because he gets to play with other heroes. Instead,
he gets to make everyone else better.
Yeah,
you get to see how dimensional other people are by putting them next to
Superman. But so I was trying to research a little bit on the 3 Legion superhero people we get, just to see if they had anything interesting. The broad answer is no, but reading about some of Saturn Girl's history reminds me of just how soap opera-y comic books can get.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, right? Where, they go on for so long, you keep having to come up with more and more ridiculous storylines.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole storyline where she had this on again, off again thing with Lightning Lad. He is in love with her and she doesn't realize it, but then she hears a prophecy that someone in the Legion has to die. So she orchestrates it such that she becomes elected leader of the League and then tells everyone they can't interfere, so she's the one that dies. But Lightning Lad jumps in and sacrifices himself instead. So then she realizes that she does love him, and she goes the ends of the earth or the galaxy or whatever to find ways to bring him back. And she can do it, but only by sacrificing someone else's life. So she once again tries to sacrifice herself to bring back Lightning Lad. But then Chameleon Boy's dog jumps in front of it, and so then he comes back. They get together, but then they realize that if they get married, they have to retire because married members of the League or the Legion of Superheroes must be retired. So they get married.
That's dumb.
They retired. They have kids, but one of them, they have twins unknowingly, and one of the babies is kidnapped by Darkseid and sent in the past to become a supervillain. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know how you read through that. I would have been lost immediately.
I don't know how I remembered it. But it was just my God, these get so fucking convoluted.
It's great.
But it's
the good old days of old.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, also fun fact: Chameleon Boy has those kind of powers because the people on his planet learn to adapt because their entire planet is covered in thermonuclear waste.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Good for him.
I'm really glad that in 900 years we still are dealing with that kind of problem.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's another planet. It's
It's
not our problem anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Superman made our planet a utopia,
Yeah.
an intergalactic utopia.
That's absolutely true. That is a problem for the next generation.
That's right.
We'll be long dead.
Why are we even worrying about it?
No,
No, I can still make money off of this.
I know. I got some thermonuclear waste just laying around my apartment. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go dump it out in the street.
Yeah, really, I just threw it out the window like before you came over
Oh,
here.
that's really smart. That's why it's so nice in here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what's missing. Oh, nice.
that nice glow.
Oh shit. All right. Well, shall we
Jump to
slowly
ultimate-
drag ourselves along to the ultimate thrill?
Ultimate
here?
thrill. Yeah, this is a great episode.
This was.
This is definitely on my short list, very high up on my short list, because there has to be another villain that was a stunt person, because I feel like this is a plot that I've heard before.
So I couldn't think. Maybe like a Spider-Man villain.
Maybe.
Wait, Mysterio. What's his thing? He's not a stunt man.
No, he's a special effects artist.
special effects artist. Okay, that's kind of closely similar. I couldn't think of one. I mean, what this whole episode really reminded me of, and I couldn't find anyone mention this specifically as a reference. But this whole time, I was thinking Rocketeer.
Okay.
You've seen the Rocketeer, right?
I have the Rocketeer. No, I don't. I have Great Starfighter. What's that one?
The Last Starfighter.
That one.
That's not even.
I know.
Close.
It's still Disney.
Still Jurassic. Okay, yeah. So
It
Jurassic
came out a year
different.
afterwards. That's the one that I own. I've seen Rocketeer, but I own.
Yeah, okay.
The Last
Because I mean, just
Starfighter.
like it's grounded in like an old style version of the movie industry. Even the plane that the Rocketeer flies, I think it's the BG, if I recall. That's the same plane that Roxy like throws the Penguin's henchman to in the end. Exact same plane, and she's kind of got like that bomber jacket look, like flying on the rocket. I don't know. For me, that was like a big touchstone reference, but even just like the tone, kind of seemed like it came from there a little bit.
It was
too.
It was just such a good episode. So she is a former stunt actress.
Yeah.
Who is chasing the thrill to such an extreme. Oh, this is the plot of Point Break. That's
Oh my God! How did we miss
That's what
that?
I was thinking of. This is the plot of Point Break. Screw the Rocketeer. There's a better movie that's connected to. So she was a former stunt woman chasing the thrill, and so she would keep making her stunts more extreme to the point where insurance companies wouldn't insure her to do any of these stunts. So she kind of got kicked out of the job.
Yeah.
So she turned to a life of crime to continue the thrill.
Yep.
And as Batgirl so sexually put, when she got a taste of you, there is no better thrill.
So Bruce Timm has said that this is their most blatantly risque episode.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she basically has an orgasm at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
She orgasms almost to death.
Yeah, on top of the rocket. Yeah, with Batman just sitting in front of her. No, I mean it is like full on really risque.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun though. I just really like her as a character.
It's risque in such a different sense of Batman, because we have the villains that use their body as kind of the risque sexual thing. But with her, it's more of just like she's just there because she just wants to play with Batman.
She's just a shameless flirt.
Yeah.
All the way through, and a fearless one too, and that's part of what makes her so fun. Like I wouldn't even say that she has a death wish per se. Oh, that's definitely where it goes to at the end.
Yeah.
It's more just she's fearless in every sense.
Which is interesting because I kept making parallels to the last Scarecrow episode where they took away fear.
Oh right, yeah.
And she is very much in that like very very self-centered. Like she just wants to feel something.
Yeah.
And that's why she does these things.
But what I did find amazing about it though is that the episode structurally is kind of repetitive. Like there's 3 scenes of like her getting chased on a rocket, but each one did feel a little bit distinctly different.
Oh, it almost felt like 3 completely different animation studios. The second one where they're flying through the tunnels was so well animated.
It was.
It blew me away how well that was done.
Yeah. Because I even love how going back to the first one real quick, like the first one opens where she's robbing a whole bunch of rich people on a blimp. Just like some sort of like, I don't know, blimp dinner cruise.
Yeah.
I think for me that felt very BTOS.
Yes, because blimps are very BTOS.
Yeah, well, even having like that old fashioned, like the police helicopter too. I don't know if we really see a lot of those in the new Batman Adventures. I feel
Not
like
really.
that design pretty much was only seen in BTOS. That whole sequence felt like it was pulled from one of those old episodes, and it was just fun. I love that scene of her like just jumping out of the blimp and just falling and falling and falling.
Yeah, and the police are like, we can't do anything.
Can't do shit until she like hops onto the rocket, and then the Batman goes after her in the Batwing. And just that she's so excited to have him there.
Yeah.
Makes it just
It's so good because it's like she almost turns Joker-esque. Where
bit,
like
yeah.
she's just doing this to rile up Batman. Because from her perspective, she isn't just excited for him chasing her. She sees him excited to chase her.
Yeah.
So like she sees both sides as like a win for her. It's like I'm giving him a good time.
Oh yeah. Well, and what I thought was interesting too is that she, through I'd say the first 2/3, is more or less the protagonist. Like it's mostly done from her perspective.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways, and they do a nice job of framing her as being a semi-sympathetic villain. Like we get where she's coming from. I mean, she's being reckless just for her own sake, but yeah, she's like robbing people, but she's not really like causing a lot of danger or destruction or damage.
That was the I was gonna make another Point Break connection.
Oh, please make all the Point Break connections you can.
She only robs to continue the thrill.
Yeah.
She never threatens because there's even the part where at the very beginning where the rich woman like is struggling to get the ring off. She's like, I can't get it off. She's like, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna go take something from over here.
Yeah.
It's like she's not in it for any. She's like the money is just kind of a side effect of her wanting to jump out of a blimp.
Yeah. I mean, she still needs it.
Yeah.
Which is then great because we get to bring in the Penguin as a fence. And again, I'll keep talking about how much I love the new iteration of the Penguin, but the role he gets to play now is this kind of constant background presence.
Yeah.
And he like gets a lot to do.
I think you mentioned it before. He's the bridge between the overworld and underworld.
Yeah. Yeah, and he he's even trying to toe that line. Like he gets worried that Roxy's gonna like get him in trouble with Batman.
I will say this: the one negative I have about this episode is there were like too many bird puns.
There were a lot of bird puns.
By the time we got to the last, like the chickens, the three henchwomen of Penguin, I'm just like, I'm done. I need these to stop.
I did love that they introduced that the waitresses at the Iceberg Lounge are his henchwomen too.
Did you see one of the models is copied after another famous DCAU character?
No.
Because I screamed when I saw this. And I even took a picture just to show you. Who is that?
Oh, yeah, Black Canary.
Yes.
On the right, yeah.
So Black Canary makes a small cameo in this.
As a prostitute?
I assumed she was a waitress.
Oh, okay. Well, because when Batgirl is figuring out, that probably makes more sense.
Yeah. Batgirl makes the connection between Roxy Rocket and
because Roxy was seen visiting the club like late at night, and Batman asks like, "Oh, is your intel good?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know what your definition of good is." And they cut over, and obviously that's Black Canary, but my thought was that they were prostitutes. I'm sorry.
I mean, Black Canary isn't a very risque outfit.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? The hooker with the heart of gold trope was very, very popular back in the 90s.
It was.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard it that way. I like it that way.
Well, you've never heard that?
No, hooker with a heart of gold?
Yeah. I mean, that's just Pretty Woman in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Which I actually haven't seen.
That's fine. Neither have I.
Oh, God, what terrible people we are.
I mean, you're the gay one. I feel like it's...
That's true. Why does that mean I have to have seen...
I don't know.
Pretty Woman.
I feel like, don't you have to see all of What's Her Face's movies?
Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
I'm not even that big of a fan of Julia Roberts. Like, she's lovely, but I'm like, I'm not... I don't know.
I don't know how the stereotype works anymore.
We're
breaking boundaries.
I don't know.
I can't make these general assumptions anymore.
I don't know. I don't understand the stereotype works either. I am constantly calling myself the worst gay. And actually, so I plugged it last week, but if you go listen to the Buzz on Broadway, Jonathan's podcast, where I'm on there, I just get gets so much shit. I don't know who Patti LuPone is, and I just get made fun of the entire time for that. So
That's okay.
you probably don't know who Patti LuPone is.
have
But
no
you're not
idea.
gay, so it's fine. You shouldn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So what the fuck are we talking about? Oh, okay. The Penguin. One of the things I love about this too is we get to go to the Penguin's apartment, which has penguins everywhere.
Of course.
But I also love that he's really concerned about trying to keep a low profile with Batman. And then when Batman breaks into his apartment, so I love that he's slowly creeping over towards the umbrella stand. And did you assume? What did you
I
think?
assumed he was going to pull an umbrella out.
I assumed it would trigger
but
umbrella
it's
too.
so much better.
But no, he steps on it like it's a pop lid garbage can, and out launches a Tommy gun. He just
Amazing.
unloads on
It
the-
was so amazing.
I was not expecting that. Super fun moment. Especially because then Batman grabs him, like throws him out the window, and does like the classic interrogation, holding him over the city. That's a great,
This
great
whole episode
scene.
is so good.
Oh my god! I just the
Roxy Rocket riding the seal out of the iceberg lounge.
Real quickly
So
though,
good.
since when do seals attack humans?
When they're trained by Penguin.
Fair enough. You answered my question for me. Yeah, I did love it. Even that scene too remind me of like the Rocketeer, like when he breaks out of the club, like when the Nazis are chasing him and he like flies on the jetpack out to the ceiling. It's done a little bit differently here, but this whole episode felt very like swashbuckling sort of, and not like in a pirate sense, but that like early film era. Like even all the stunts they show her doing, like she's like getting into a fist fight on the edge of a biplane. Like you can see where they went and pulled references from those like classic Hollywood stunt era films. Yeah. And they put her in those. Or like that great scene where she like jumps off the plane and falls and lands on top of a hot air balloon. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a moment that they loop back to, which is so great because it's just good storytelling. When she first sees Penguin, she plays Double or Nothing. She plays high card, and Penguin's like, this is unnecessary risk, which then loops back at the end when she plays basically Russian roulette on a rocket.
Chicken.
She plays chicken twice, I guess. Yeah, I guess it is chicken.
Yeah, so she plays chicken with Batman in the tunnel when they're in the Batwing, when he's in the Batwing. They don't really play chicken when he's on the jetpack.
No,
chase.
the third chase.
But the third chase, when he hops on they're at the airfield, he hops on his own rocket and goes after her. That's a great moment when he's just sitting on top of it, and you don't play chicken with Batman.
Yeah, well, basically, so to set the scene up, Batman is sitting on Roxy's rocket with her. She locks the handlebar, so the rocket will only go straight, and basically tells Batman, you can either jump off or you can explode with me.
Yeah.
And you kind of see her lose her cool because she's not in control anymore. 'Cause like you said, you can't out-fear Batman.
No. You don't play chicken with Batman.
Yeah.
You will inevitably lose.
It's so good. And then the rocket explodes and Batman like grabs her and she like is ready to die again. Like that was the end game for her. Is like the best stunt is the one that takes you out.
Well, and that was kind of the fun way that scene played out. It's because he's maintaining static all the way through. And so like she's like, okay, you're gonna give, and she does have a moment of panic, and
what are you doing?
She tries to grab the steering wheel, and he stops her.
Like if we're playing this game, we're playing it to the end.
Yeah, and then in that moment, she gets back into it.
Yeah.
Again, and so eventually, Batman grabs her and leaps off. But even as they're falling, she thinks they're falling
to their death.
Their death until he pulls the parachute.
Yeah, and then she's like, "What are you doing?
She's so disappointed.
She's so upset.
Yeah, but like again, talking about like risque, like that whole scene plays out like very risque because she like takes off her jacket, so she like not like strips down her underwear, but she like strips down just her tank top, and then they're just literally riding this rocket and just like staring at each other, waiting to see who yields, and she's getting more and more into it. And it's what's funny is it's risque and it's sexualized, but it is still a very kind of benign, playful way. Like it never feels like gratuitous or exploitative, which I think is.
I honestly felt a more like scandalous episode around the fire girl, whose name I already forgot.
Oh God, Torch Song, the Firefly episode, Cassidy. Volcana and Superman. Okay,
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
because I think there is a valid criticism to the broader DCAU prior to, I'd say, really Justice League, that it is heavy on the male gaze and it is a little bit sexist.
Oh, yeah.
And this episode to me felt like it was able to break through that a little bit by making her just a really strong,
Just
very
a badass
determined character. Yeah, it's really awesome. And that was Bruce Timm Paul Dini's original intent. So this was her first appearance in the show, and she was created for the DCAU in the comics originally.
Okay.
In like the Batman Adventures Annual #1 or something like that was her first appearance. And there's some random thing about where I think she had maybe just started going to crime, but she's framed for a crime by Catwoman.
Okay.
Some weird thing. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. But no, but I feel like she is almost kind of the answer to some of the DCAU's problems with its own female characters. I think she's one of the best.
Oh, absolutely.
It's better than Lois.
I think they're all pretty much better than Lois.
No, much better than Lois.
When Lana has been in the show for 15 minutes.
That's true.
And it's already better
she's
than
better
Lois.
than Lois. Yeah. No, I hadn't seen this one in a long time, and I was excited to get back to it because I remember liking her, but I didn't remember just how good this was.
There were two other small things I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
She has a flare gun that shoots a bat-shaped firecracker. It's amazing.
It's fantastic.
And then she has like kind of a breaking the fourth wall moment when they start the final chase, which could also be seen as her just doing movie talk because that's kind of part of her character throughout the whole thing. Is when Batman first jumps on his rocket and is chasing her, she says, "This is the third act climax. You're not supposed to, and I don't see you making it to the end."
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is a little fourth wall breaky. Excuse me.
But yeah, it was so good. And I kept trying to figure out what art style that tiny painting was.
Oh, yeah, that random little painting that Bruce buys.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It looks cubist.
Yeah.
Because that's what I care about. But I also realized it was literally just a sketch of 3 lines.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, this looks fancy.
Yeah, so very fancy. I got a question for you. Do you think this character would work in any iteration outside of the DCAU?
Brave and the Bold. Because
because
everyone works
everything
in Brave and the Bold.
flies in the Brave and the Bold.
I would love to. Honestly, I could see her in a Flash episode.
Oh, okay. That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Because that seems like someone that the Flash would have trouble with.
Yeah.
Someone that just is so carefree.
Well, and to be so shamelessly flirtatious too. That would be some good. It's very CW.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's very much built up for CW.
Yeah. Be an expensive episode.
It would. That was where my brain first went was budget wise. Who could make that?
So what I love is that with the Arrowverse, they actually put the money in to try and make things comic accurate. Whereas what I loved about Smallville, even in reference to the Legion superhero episode, they don't have them in their normal costumes. They have them in the Smallville version of the costume, which is just leather jackets. You can imagine if they did Roxy Rocket in Smallville, she would be running around on a motorcycle. Those dubbed the Rocket.
Oh,
or something
yeah,
like that. Whereas I feel
absolutely.
in the Flash, they would get her on an actual rocket, even if it only was really for a couple scenes, and for whatever the climax, they took it out to do something different. But that would be really fun.
Yeah.
If they were to put her in a movie, who would you want to see play her?
Oh my God. Who's an attractive brunette? A lot of people.
I guess for some reason I thought she was a redhead. I guess she has a brunette, huh?
It's kind of like a burnt auburn.
Yeah.
And this is why it took people a while to figure out which one of us is the gay one.
Well, you're the artist. This is why you would know these things. Christ.
Let's see, who's a super sassy brunette right now?
I was thinking Emma Stone.
Yeah. Emma Stone would be great.
I feel like
she's not sassy enough.
I feel like Easy A era Emma Stone.
I was gonna
go
she'd need a little more energy, but an Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, Aubrey Plaza would be kind of fun. Yeah,
I feel like in that same realm, Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick could be great.
I think she could do it. I think she just has to be meaner.
Yeah,
because she's always sassy, but she's never mean sassy.
Yeah,
so I was just kid sassy.
But let's be honest though. If she were to be in the movie, it would be in the current DCEU. So she'd be this super grungy, gritty version.
Who do we cast her for the DCEU?
Judi Dench.
I went to Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
No, what's her face from Mad Max?
Charlize Theron?
Yeah.
That could be really
That'd be
fun.
awesome.
Actually. That'd be really fun. Her actually, I mean, also Mad Max, Zoe Kravitz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Big Little Lies?
I watched the first 2 episodes
How did you not finish it? That show was amazing.
because it's about your hometown and I don't care about you.
What's touche. It's a damn good reason right there. Maybe if we talked outside the podcast and I explained more of what my hometown was like, you'd be interested.
No.
Fucking asshole. Anyways, I think she would be good for it. Oh god, but I have to say though, I agree with you. I think one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I still post the short list we did for Superman season 2, but I have to say, like, we try to tell you which episodes you can avoid, but I think this, like, Over the Edge, and then this one in particular, The Ultimate Thrill, worth actually going and watching.
Oh, absolutely.
Take the 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go sit and watch them on Amazon Prime, because it's just a really fun episode. And it's interesting that the pairing of these two, so we just did in reverse order.
Yeah. So Roxy would have been immediately after this in Superman.
Well, no. So this episode would have come right before. Actually, so when it aired, this was the first episode of quote unquote season 2 of New Batman Adventures.
Okay.
But production order, this comes right after Over the Edge. We just did them in.
No, I mean,
sorry, it comes right before.
I'm thinking of the last Superman episode we had.
Oh, Nighttime?
Yes.
It comes before that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we meet Roxy in Superman.
Yes. But I was going to say that the juxtaposition of this and Over the Edge is very interesting because like tonally drastically different, but also goes to show what this universe does well, that it can do those really incredible emotional stories, but also do the really light, fun stuff as well.
Yeah.
Also, it's like Mixapixulated is one of our favorite episodes. That's a full-on like Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think when they lean into a genre, I think that's when it gets its most interesting. So, like, because even New Kids in Town, that's like leaning into sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we even bring that up in superhero movies now.
That's true.
Where you don't make superhero the genre, you make it the overlay.
Yeah.
You make it the subject.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Black Panther gets to be like a James Bond Shakespearean drama.
Everything is so good. If you haven't seen Black Panther yet, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah, everything is better when it has some James Bond influence. And actually, if you're done with notes, that segues perfectly into one of my bat plugs.
Does it?
It does, actually.
I will wrap up my notes just so we can keep that segue.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it. No,
Okay, good. All right. Well, so one of mine, you may have, this is an older video, and I came across it again, and I forgot to look up who did it, but obviously it'll be in the notes. But someone went and made a James Bond style title sequence for The Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh.
It's really cool. I mean, it's all digital effects, so there's no like live. They don't bring any of the movie footage into it. But one of the cool things about it is that the song they use is Radiohead's Spectre. So Radiohead made a song as a submission to do the theme song for Spectre, and ultimately they went with that terrible Sam Smith song instead. But it's really, really good. Like it's a much better song. Yeah. But it's a great like song to accompany the cool visuals they come up with. So yeah, it's a Star Wars and James Bond mashup, which two of my favorite things right there.
That sounds awesome.
I know, it's amazing. And the other one I have to plug is I started reading the Miss Marvel comic.
I have that.
You do?
I do. I'm not ready.
What a surprise. It's probably sitting on your shelf right next to New Frontier.
Yep.
It is.
New Frontier's down there.
Oh, okay. Keeping your table flat. Like you lost one of the wheels, so it's a nice big thick book, so you just shove it out of there.
No.
Keep it sturdy. But yeah, so because they Comixology had like a crazy deal on Amazon recently, so I got the first, I want to say 8 volumes for about $15 total. It was like $2 per volume or something like that. So I'm now in volume 5. It is incredible. It's very reminiscent of, I think, like early era Spider-Man, like that she's like a teenage girl. She's in school. She's trying to deal with her family and deal with being a superhero and other stuff. But you know, part of it too is that it is very authentically Muslim, at least from my understanding. But it like one of my favorite parts about it is reading it on Comixology. It unlike reading like the trade published graphic novel, where it was a continuous thing. This one is loosely broken up by actual issues, and so at the end of them, when there would be a letters section, they would include it. And so the cool thing is you get to see all these people writing in about how they finally have a hero that looks like them or representative of like their upbringing and their culture. And how it's one of those stories that obviously speaks to everybody, just it's universal in its themes and in its portrayal of this really incredible, girl. But there's people now who get to watch that or I guess read that more accurately and be like, oh, that's me.
That's awesome.
She's an amazing character and it's just really fun. The art is beautiful in it. It's just got this fun, bright energy. And I'm always saying how I'm more of a DC guy, but it's an amazing comic. So I highly recommend you read it, Cameron.
Did you ever read or listen to Artemis, the new Andy Weir book?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. She, the main character in that is also very Muslim.
Okay.
She doesn't act it, but like it's kind of that like fighting between being independent and following your parents' religion.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that.
Well, like what I like about it is that it does spend a lot of time with her and her family, and obviously that is a very particular family dynamic that we can all relate to having to deal with frustrations in our family. But when you see the specifics of it reflecting your own upbringing, I mean that's got to be absolutely incredible. It's the same reason I'm always harping on about why we need more gay shit.
Put more rainbows on it. Come on, guys.
Yeah, just slap rainbows on things. That's all you really have to do.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's really easy, actually. What do you got to plug?
I shared this everywhere, so I'm sure you saw it at least once. But there's a song suggestion, and it's one of the greatest things I've heard in the past couple of years. And it was Weird Al finally putting out his Hamilton polka remix.
So, okay. So it's not a whole album, but it's just
it's a compilation.
It's like his polkas.
Yeah.
God,
so it's the whole soundtrack in a 5-minute song.
Okay. Oh, and that's incredible.
So good. And every video connected to it. So they have a video of Lin-Manuel reacting to it live on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, man.
And they're so good. And then Jimmy Fallon has both of them on the next night.
Oh,
and
what?
they do like a big lip sync together.
That's amazing.
And it's so good. The song, like, I don't think I've been vocal about it on the podcast before, but I'm a huge Weird Al fan, as everyone should be.
He is so unbelievably talented.
Yeah, when people talk about artists that have like transcended generations or decades, people like the first people thought was like Madonna.
Yeah,
and that is very untrue. Like Weird Al,
that's still true about Madonna.
Sure, fine.
Yeah, I mean everyone remembers her amazing single "Die Another Day" from the film Die Another Day.
Yeah.
Where one of the lyrics is Sigmund Freud, analyze this.
Yeah.
Beautiful lyricist, Madonna.
She also has that song with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, that's true. 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I actually like that song.
It's like 3 minutes doesn't sound right. It's
4 minutes. Also, Beautiful Stranger from Austin Powers by Who Tagged Me. Actually a good song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one. Okay.
Yeah. And she's in my favorite of the BMW Hire films from the early 2000s with Clive Owen.
Okay.
Yeah. They throw her in the back of an E39 M5 and go speeding around the city. It's amazing. Go check it out.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anywho.
But I was going to say, Weird Al started performing, I want to say, almost 10 years before Madonna. Because My Baloney came out in 1972.
Holy shit. It came out that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I was about ready to say, like, that doesn't sound right, but I didn't realize he was playing all the way back. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Because Yoda was his first big hit.
Yeah.
And that would have been a couple years after that.
Though, I mean, that would have been at least after 1980.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's been not only performing, but he had the first time he had an album in the top 10. I think it might have hit number 1. Was his last album, Mandatory Fun, which came out 3 years ago.
He did an amazing marketing strategy with like the release of videos to go along with that.
Yeah.
Did you? So my big album from him, because of just I was the perfect age, was Running with Scissors.
I was gonna say it's either Poodle Hat or Running with Scissors.
Running with Scissors. That's an amazing.
So good.
Yeah, it's so. I mean,
Jerry Springer.
What's
your That's your horoscope for today.
Was that no Grapefruit Diet? Wasn't that? That was a different one.
No, that was Poodle Hat.
That's Poodle Hat. But it did have The Saga Begins, of course, the American Pie parody from Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
I still know the lyrics to
Oh.
the parody and not the actual American
Same,
Pie song.
yeah.
Like if I try to start singing American Pie, eventually it just becomes Anakin Guy.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the one you're gonna probably be upset with me for is Ode to Superhero.
Oh, right, as Piano Man. But
Yeah,
it's about
Piano-
Spider-Man. But I mean, look,
I only know the lyrics to the Spider-Man.
No, that's
one.
fine. Like I mean, Piano Man is one of my all-time favorite songs. That is an incredible. Look, I mean, that's part of what makes Weird Al so great is that he comes from a place of love. Like he genuinely loves these songs and loves these other artists.
Yeah.
And that's just how he expresses admiration. He's like, I love your work enough that I want to like play with it and do something fun with it.
And then, especially the story behind Saga Begins is one of my favorite.
Wait, what's the story behind Saga Begins?
So to make the song come out on time, because it came out right around the movie,
yeah.
he begged George Lucas to get a cut of this movie so he could write an accurate song. And Lucasfilm refused to give it to him. So the song was written purely on fan rumors and fan
Holy
speculation.
shit.
How amazing is that?
I mean, that's because it's perfect. Like it
Yeah.
hits every beat. Holy shit! I didn't realize that.
And what it like reminds me of is how intense like fans are intense now.
Yeah.
But like back then, there was even a thing when I was working at my last company. We were trying to work on Star Wars. I'm sure it's fine to talk about this at this point.
Probably. You got to text me real quick. If not, I don't have a lot of
It's fine. I
time
don't
on
like this company anymore. It's my former company. Lucasfilm was worried about giving us any assets because we worked above a comic shop, and I think they're still like because I asked them because they had a representative come over, and I asked what's the connection. He's like, we've had companies that forgot to shred stuff, and people from the comics will dive through trash and try and find any bit of news, any bit of information about the movie.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, oh yeah, nerds do that.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s, they really did that.
We're crazy, desperate people. We didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
It was only in its infancy. Yeah.
It was Internet 1.0 still.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
So-
the Netscape days, dial-up days.
Those were the days. But yeah, learning that about Saga Begins makes that song so much better.
Oh my god!
It's already amazing, but it just it adds such a level of joy on top of it. 'Cause that was a nerd's creation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hamilton Polka is amazing. I'm gonna plug a real plug. I think I might have plugged this before. I hope I didn't. Did I plug Silent, the book that I'm listening to?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm listening to a real book.
Wait, how can you listen to it if it's silent?
Shut up, shut up. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with the same jokes that I had to deal with after watching that horrible movie, the Liam Neeson Silence. Liam Neeson, Andrew Garfield.
Oh yeah,
Andy,
the Martin Scorsese
yeah.
movie. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. 3 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
Nope.
It's a book called Silent: The Power of Introverts in an Extroverted World.
Oh.
And it's super fascinating. And it just it kind of talks about how in America the way you move up in society is by being very extroverted, and that's kind of taught to you at a very young age.
Yeah.
And how that's really harmful for half of the country is introverted, and how they can't really thrive in that kind of environment.
Oh, interesting.
And it's really cool that the chapter I just listened to, which was super fascinating, was comparing Eastern and Western ideals of introvert and extrovert. So in Asia, it is much more accepted. I guess so. Their culture is much more revolved around introversion.
Okay.
And it's especially in the schooling system, you shut up and study, and that's all. That's it.
Yeah.
They had a couple interviews with some top honor high school students in a primarily Asian school in America. When they moved on to college, they were interviewing oh, what is the big difference? And he's like, well, people will just stand up and just talk about nonsense, and the teacher will praise them for it because they're being, they're interacting with the class. And he's like, if I tried to do that in my school, I would have been reprimanded. And it's such an interesting kind of clash of cultures that I never really thought about.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I mean, you're reading like a real book.
Yeah, like a real
I mean, you're
book.
listening to like a real book.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating. And it makes me think of like how I like acted in school.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've always seen myself as an introvert, but then I like look at what I did, and I was like, I was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And like how I always looked forward to giving presentations.
Mm-hmm.
But then like they were talking about how that's not really like an introvert extrovert thing. Like some people won't handle presentations as well, but when you're talking about something you're passionate about, it doesn't matter.
It does. You don't hold back. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, how do they define like introvert versus extrovert? Like we actually had a conversation about this recently where like we were kind of talking about how part of it is how do you derive energy?
Right. Yeah. How do you recharge?
Yeah, how do you recharge? It's a much better way of saying it. Derive energy sounds very LA. Let me go rub some crystals around my balls.
Do you want to go get some crystals?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely brought up in the beginning, the idea of like, do you recharge by yourself or do you recharge in a group? But really the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from this book is, there's like a definitive world for each one, but the line is very blurry between them. Because like I jump from side to side listening to the book of like, I'm like 100% this and I'm 100% that. And sometimes I'm like 20% this and 30% that. And like, it's really interesting, and it kind of makes me want to just like throw out the idea of one or the other, because I feel like I'm right down the middle.
I think you are. I mean, because I feel like you would probably be inclined to describe yourself as an introvert. Like, you work from home and you mostly work in isolation, but then you look at what you're doing with like Core Memory Co., right? Where like that is a very extroverted, very social thing. Like that all came out of you like being part of a social group.
Yeah.
And it's all predicated on you reaching out to people all the time and like just putting yourself out there. We do something similar.
I was going to say, we do a smaller version of that here.
We do the smaller version of it. Yeah, but like, because like, from my perspective, I see you as very extroverted in a lot of ways, but I can see why you would probably see yourself as introverted. Maybe I'll read this book. It sounds really interesting.
It's really cool. I have like 2 chapters left.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to finish it up.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Reading like a real thing.
Reading a real book. Fuck comics.
I know, I'm the one here reading a comic book.
I mean, I also plug Weird Al, so I had to balance
That's true. It is nice and balanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of that,
Little column A, little column B. Oh my God.
That's all I got.
Nice. I mean, those are like really legit plugs. So that's fantastic. Okay, I think we've rambled on a lot.
This has been a long one.
But the nice thing is we gave a lot of material for those people who skipped the whole middle part of the podcast.
It's true.
The core,
You guys
core
are
part of it,
welcome.
really. We gave you guys a lot to go. But if you do want to reach out to us, and also if you guys have like suggestions, like I always like say, if you guys are reading something or listening to something you think we'd be interested in, please by all means let us know. Always love to get suggestions, so we can.
As I always say, whatever we've gotten wrong, please correct us.
Oh yeah, can someone write in and tell us what the name of Mary Poppins Street is? The Bankses.
I mean, I'll just Google it right now.
You can just Google it right now. It's fine. But yeah, please write to us and tell us we did wrong, what we got wrong. But we are at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a Gmail.
Yes.
I am personally at Lardifer on Twitter and more Instagram. But even then, I barely ever post
17
anything.
Cherry Tree Lane.
Cherry Tree Lane.
Oh, that's right. There's a whole song about that.
Yeah. How do we... God, what? Yeah. We need to stop recording. I was going to say it's because it's late, but the
No.
quality is on par as if we were doing this any other time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Cameron, where can they find you and your beautiful face and the cool things you do?
If you want to see my face, you can follow me at CamDexter_adventures. If you want to see my art, which hopefully I'll be doing more of this month, you can follow me at Cameron.Dexter. And if you want to see my products, my shirts, and also my face sometimes.
Yeah.
A fourth of my face.
Yeah.
My face, but a fourth of it. There we go.
There we go.
You can follow.
Which quadrant is it? Is it your best quadrant?
It's not really a quadrant. It's like from the eyebrow of my left eye down to my nose and then back to the cheek.
Okay.
So it's like this square here.
Okay. That's one of your best parts of your face.
That's why I chose it.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I prefer the right side rather
Do
than
you
the
know
left.
my left side's my photogenic side?
Oh well. Just agree to disagree, I suppose.
If you want to see any of that stuff, you can follow at Core Memory Co. on Instagram. And yeah. I think we have a Facebook. We have a Facebook because I set that up. And I think we have a Twitter, but we don't use the Twitter.
You do, because I had to look all these things up because I knew you wouldn't give them to me when I was trying to figure out how to put them into the podcast.
It's all on the website.
You do have a Twitter, but there's like nothing on there.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, you do have Instagram and you do have Facebook.
Yes.
And we will be back next week with Obsession and Mean Seasons.
Ooh.
So I think Obsession is a Toyman episode.
Yay.
I'm pretty sure it is. And then Mean Seasons is Calendar Girl.
Oh.
So not Calendar
Girl.
Man.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think it's an original character for the DCAU.
Cool.
Derived from Calendar Man. I seem to recall it pretty good, but yeah. So good stuff coming down the line. So, but as always, thank you for listening. Oh, also go and I don't think I've ever actually said this. I keep meaning to. Like, give us a review on iTunes.
Yeah.
Apparently, it helps.
Apparently.
I don't know how. I don't know how these things work.
I don't know.
But we'd
figure it out.
We'd appreciate it. I know some people have already, but so thank you if you have. But also, yeah, just give us a little shout. That'd be great.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. That's it.
Bye.
Bye.
You like podcasts with themes and purpose?
Love them.
Me neither.
Oh.
That's why we created the Potato Podcast.
You mean potato?
Sure.
Great, then check out our show. Every week we have a special guest from the world of improv and entertainment.
We promise we won't stay on topic.
And with some help from the human bag of garbage intern Rich.
We're best friends.
Nope.
And the voice of reason, Sam.
You're doing this ad wrong.
We make a show that somehow makes sense.
We've been told this show's like hanging out with your best friends, but let's be honest, your best friends are kind of jerks.
Yeah. So check us out every Wednesday on the Nerdist School Network.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.